So yeah, that's about me. So today, let me take you through the basics of TV planning. I think the basic jargons and everything, if we understand better, then only we can understand the whole TV planning piece, because there are a lot of jargons that people throw around and they speak into these terms. So it becomes, I think, they are the first barrier that you come across while learning TV planning. So we'll just get that out of picture first, and then dive into TV planning, what a TV planning actually is. Is that okay? And you guys can ask me questions as and when. Feel free to ask questions in between as well, so that that whole topic is completed. Okay, so I think from last session, you guys know a little bit about TV planning. And a little bit about BARC as well. So BARC is Broadcast Audience Research Council. So this council was made by All India Advertising Association and Indian Broadcasters Association. And this was made primarily because there was a lot of discrepancies in earlier methodologies and softwares that have been used for TV planning. So this council was formed, and then they came up with their own software called UMI, YUMI, that is your unique measurement, your unique media interface. So that's the software that helps us do media plans. We are not going to get into that software, or nor are we going to get into BARC in details right now. We'll just touch upon all the jargons and the calculations that have been used for TV planning. And then might be we can, as and when the question arises, I can shed some more light on those topics, right? So first we'll understand the ecosystem. What are we getting into? What is a TV planning ecosystem like? So there are over 900 channels. If you guys don't know, by far on TV, there are over 900 channels. Okay. There is a regulatory authority that regulates the advertising time on TV. That is called TRAI. Then there are numerous formats, numerous shows, the reality shows, and numerous genres that you can advertise on. Okay, there are the total in a day in India. An average person in India watches over 2 hours of TV. So that's the amount of time spent on TV, and that's the time amount of time available for you to reach your audience. Right, an average that's very high, 2 hours, sticking in front of the idiot box as we call it. It has over 96% penetration because almost every TV, every household in India has a TV, right? There are regional channels and there are national channels, and the regional channels almost contribute to almost 50%, more than 45% of the viewership that happens. There is a lot of competition and ad clutter because it's one of the biggest platforms that you can advertise on. So you can uh, expect that. And with the recent startups coming in and trying to, have that chunk of that pie, so that's even more difficult to plan for TV. So that's also one of the factor that has added to the whole situation. In a day, there are 96 breaks on any channel. Okay. In a month, there are close to 24 lakh breaks, TV ad breaks that happen. So that's the window that you have to, a window of opportunity that you have to showcase your ad. There are a lot of factors like these. And the biggest factor of all of this, given all of this permutation combinations and everything that done, if you have to make an idealistic TV plan, right? An idealistic TV plan, given all the permutation combinations, 900 channels, so many seconds available, so many breaks available for you to advertise. If you have to go and make an idealistic plan, it will take you estimated over 6,500 years. That's the quantum we're dealing with. I hope you understand the kind of ecosystem that we are dealing with. Cool by far. Can I move? Any questions? Hello. Can you guys hear me? Can someone confirm? Because I cannot.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes, yes,
clearly.
Yeah. Okay.
Anji.
So let's just get into some jargon before we understand what planning is, right? Some formulas and all. So everybody must have heard about TRP or TVR, or the common term is TRP that everybody uses. And the common term for anybody who knows planning or is in advertising and media, they'll use TVR or GRP. So it is nothing but simply the amount of time spent on any time band, on any given time band or a program or a channel by the audience. It's as simple as that. It is complicated but not complex. So uh, if there are a few number of people that sit and watch a certain channel or a time band, right? They'll be calculated in TVR. Okay, they have time spent and they are the audience, right? They also become a part of that universe who watches that time band. So in simple terms, is the percentage of the audience watching that time band or program. To put it in a very simple term, if any layman asks you what is TVR, it is an average percentage of time spent on the by the universe on that particular time band. GRP and TVR and TRP are interchangeably used. Okay. So sum of all TVRs, if there are multiple programs, program one, so there is Kyuki Saas Bhi Kabhi Bahu, and then there is Anupama, then there are all these programs. If there are multiple programs, and then all the programs will have TVR, right? There are multiple TVRs. So you simply add them, summation of them, we call it GRP. That's it. It's no rocket science, and they are used interchangeably. Sometimes you can have TVRs in decimals, like 0.5 TVR, 0.6 TVR, and can add up to 0.11 or 1.1. So that's your GRP. But some programs can have 1 TVR, 2 TVR, even as high as 18 TVRs for one program, one time band. Okay. So that can be called as TVR. And if you're using it as a GRP, you can also call it GRP. Okay, it is interchangeably used, and you'll get to know where we use it during when I show you the actual plan, right? So there are some terminologies used while planning, and they'll be only clarified then. So hold on to it. Then there is impressions. So these are three things that we mostly concern us. That is TVR, GRP, impressions, and
Lucky, Achyut को एक question है.
yes, I cannot see the hands raised, so
हाँ,
you
so
can
guys,
ask the
please
questions.
interrupt her, please.
Yeah.
Lucky, I just want to understand from a GRP perspective. So, if we have a TV show that we've planned for in Maharashtra and then something else in South India, can we
Yeah.
add the can we add the TVR in South plus like in different markets to calculate the
Okay.
total GRP?
So good question. Yeah. So let me clarify the point here. I was going to clarify that later, but now since the question has arisen. So if there is Maharashtra as a market, there is TN as a market. Okay. These both markets have a different viewership pattern. Okay. They'll have different programs, different kind of viewing time bands. Okay. And there is also second factor that is called the target group. That is what we define in Bark Yumi as a software. So first rule is that if your TG is the same, if you have the same TG, okay, and you have the same market, you can add those TVRs. Okay. If the markets change, you cannot add those TVRs. So you garner 500 GRP in Maharashtra and you garner 500 GRP in TN, Tamil Nadu. You cannot add them to be 1,000. What the software does for us, or what we can also do is, you can take their spill on all India. So for an instance, I'll make it very simple. Um, so Bark, what they do is they have sample sizes in each of the market. Okay, they'll have 1,000 sample size in Maharashtra, 1,000 in TN, 1,000 in AP. Likewise, they'll have each and every market. Okay, what they'll do for that market and for that defined TG. Okay, they will see what is your all India. Okay, every market contributes to all India. Do you get me? So like 1,000 मिला के, there'll be like 50,000 to all India, right? So these sample sizes, they deliver some kind of GRP. These people, they watch your program and some kind of TVR or GRP is delivered. So that TVR and GRP is specific for that market. Okay. And if you have to add them, you will have to have a common denomination. With me?
Yeah.
So that common denomination is all India. Okay. So that total all India is your common denomination. And these, you derive your all India from this markets. So 500 GRP on Maharashtra might look like 50 GRP on all India. Or 500 GRP in Tamil Nadu might look like 100 GRPs on all India, because your universe has widened. So your TN universe is 1,000 and your all India universe is 50,000. And it is a part of that all India, right? So if your TN universe is 1,000, your all India universe is 50,000. Your TN is like what, 0.5% of all India, right? Achyut, you there?
अच्युत नहीं समझ आ रहा तो ये दोबारा
हाँ,
समझाने का पेशेंस के साथ.
पूछ लेना. So
हाँ.
see, it is so abhi 100 from Maharashtra, 100 from TN. So different markets, 100 weight ले लो. 100 लोग है हर एक मार्केट से. और ऑल इंडिया का मिला के वो 100 लोग, अभी 29 मार्केट्स है, तो ऑल इंडिया का 29,000 नंबर हो जाता है ना? सो व्हाट डज दैट 100, what is that 100 to 29,000 or 2,900, sorry. That percentage is the same percentage we apply for GRP also. So if your Maharashtra is delivering 500 GRPs, your software will calculate what is the sample size to your all India. What is the contribution of your sample size to all India? And it will take that much percentage of your GRPs to all India. मैं एक एक्सेल में बताऊं क्या?
Yeah, I think that will be helpful.
I think that will help.
वो बहुत जिस साइलेंस से अच्युत बात कर रहा था उससे मेरे को ही फील आ रहा है कि उसको नहीं समझ आ रहा, तो एक्सेल पे दिखा दे.
Excel में दिखाने से I think they will understand it better. Yeah.
So there is Maharashtra. Okay, everybody can see my Excel sheet.
Yeah.
Okay.
पहला मैसेज करना बंद कर दे.
Okay, so these are your markets. Okay, and you have 1,000 GRPs here, 1,000 as your sample here. Okay, ये 1,000 मतलब take anything. यहाँ आप समझ लो 1,500 है, यहाँ 1,200 है. So this is your all India, right? You have so many people in all India watching. Right now, take it as people. This is a different this thing. It's called meters. Bark has meters installed, so that is the sample. Okay, but if you
और
take a
1
simple,
मीटर मींस व्हाट लकी, जैसे अगर तू बोल रहा है कि बाक हैज मीटर्स.
so I'll tell you about. Let me. So yeah, so I'll tell you about bark also. So bark, the way bark works is.
क्वेश्चन के बगैर
So
आगे और
this
क्यों
is
कर रहा है?
now. It is all interlinked. It will go back and back and back and back. So bark installs barkometer in every house. Okay, in some houses they have a sample size. For every market they have one sample size. कि महाराष्ट्र में 1,000 बाकोमीटर्स होंगे, टीएन में 1,200 होंगे, कहीं और एमपी में 400 होंगे. So they have these barcometers, they are installed and they have a NDA, they have a non-disclosure agreement. They don't tell anyone and no one is supposed to tell that मेरे घर पे ये है. और वो बार्क मीटर क्या करता है, वो रिकॉर्ड करता है आपका व्यूअरशिप पैटर्न. The moment you have, they have a remote. and the remote has a button for every family member. When the family member starts watching, they'll click that button, and now there's Mega. There's Mega. Mega ka bhai hai. Your parent, your father and mother, everyone's in the house. You start watching. You'll click number one. That's for Mega, right? Then your brother comes in. He's number two. Then you'll also press number two because he's also watching along with you. You're supposed to do that. They're trained to do that. Then your parent come in. Then you have to press their buttons also. So now you're watching, and that box is recording all the data, right? And that's how you get the BARC, GRPs and TVRs and everything.
तो
Okay.
लोगों के पास क्या
So
इंसेंटिव होता है वो मीटर रखने के लिए, क्यों रखेगा कोई
we'll
घर पे
discuss
मीटर?
that later. उसमें ज़्यादा ना
sorry.
खुलासा नहीं है. They don't
अच्छा, ठीक है.
disclose too much about
No,
it.
those are sorry to interrupt you,
Huh.
Lucky. No, just to give you that background because of the to understand so that there is no biases or people don't question and all that. So there are a lot of clauses which are put in. So you don't know the household. So they take in using a sample from your census, from the kind of profiling that we want, and using that as part of their overall number of samples that they are going to be taking in on board. So accordingly, each market they will have representation in different pockets, like a big market, a small market. So there will be a representation of those markets, and in that market, they will have these numbers of meters put in those households representing the NCCS A, B, C, जो भी है. So वो classification से they will shortlist and have those number of households where this will be put in, but it is not disclosed. Nobody knows what it is, so we don't know what is their reasoning behind it, what is the incentive, वो सब कुछ बोलते नहीं है. So those are all behind the scenes which happens.
Yeah.
But that's
And
a process which happens to collect the data.
they take
Sorry,
census.
I interrupted your conversation.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's okay. So they take census and electoral data. Then they have something called as CAPI. There's a method. They put in that. They take out the CAPI, throws out ki ye NCCS. I'll come to NCCS also. Ki ye section mein ye uh, these kind of households that you should look at, and you should go and approach them for your barcode to install your meters, and they can give you a good sample size or a good data point. So these are the BARC meters that are installed. Okay. And if you take the contribution to all India, right? So now, Achit, you get it. This is the contribution. Okay. Now, to put it in a very simplistic way, इसमें और भी calculations है, but to put it in a very simplistic way, if you Maharashtra delivers 300 GRPs, AP delivers 400 GRPs, Karnataka delivers 500 GRPs, TN delivers 300 GRPs. So उसका ना एक तरीका होगा to apply this percentage. So this will be your all India GRP. You get me?
Then you have to. Yep, you just normalize it to your denominator basically.
Yes, yes. So this contribution will have a part to play in the amount of GRPs delivered that are getting normalized to your all India market. But the point is that that calculation is done by the software itself. So you don't have to like wreck your brains on it saying that what will be the. So before planning for any TV plan, before the prep, we do this prep. We see what is Maharashtra's spillover on other markets, because there are people now. Bangalore is a metropolitan city, right? Delhi, there'll be Maharashtrians in Delhi, there'll be Maharashtrians in Gujarat, there'll be Hindi speaking audience in Bangalore, in Hindi speaking audience in Chennai, right? So they watch these channels also. So if you run for, so for an instance, I'll give an example. If you do 100 GRPs in all India, they will also reflect in Maharashtra as 110. Okay. If you take Hindi speaking channels, the GECs and everything, because Maharashtra is a metropolitan, almost Mumbai is the biggest metropolitan market, right? So there will be a lot of audience watching these Hindi channels. You get me? Hello.
Yeah, Lucky, got you.
Yeah. So clear, right? I can move on.
Yeah, thank you.
Can everyone see the
Yes,
hello?
Lucky, we can see.
Yeah. Okay. So that's TVR GRP. It's as I said, it's complicated but not complex. As in when you start on that I'll take you to that Excel sheet for the plan. You'll get to know where we use these terminologies and how are they different from each other. Right? Then there's impressions that we call for other mediums. Bach calls it AMA, that is average minute audience. It is nothing but the averaged out number for that viewing time. Okay, and it is expressed in thousands. They'll give you in thousands. This is also this entire calculation. It's a scientific calculation. They have their own way of calculating it, and it's a series of formulas that they use to calculate all of these. So we don't have to get into them because they're readily available from the software. But this is what they define it as. Okay. So here what I was talking about TVRs. Okay. So there are imagine there are these many individuals that are there. Okay. They're watching the TV. So this becomes your universe because they are available to watch that TV, right? Your program starts at 8:30. Your program ends at it's a 30-minute program, but this viewer A, he starts watching at 8:30 and ends at 8:40. So he has watched for 10 minutes. Likewise, all these viewers have watched. Someone has watched for 25 minutes, someone for 4 and 5. The calculation here is time weighted average. Okay, you take time into consideration before making an average. You cannot just make a simple average of it. So 30 minutes of available time, if you see here, this is the time viewed divided by available time of the program. That program is for 30 minutes and divide by number of audience or whatever universe is watching that program. That is 10 people right now here into 100. So percentage, hence into 100. There's a simple way of calculating TVR. Okay. Okay. I'll move on. Understood, right? Any questions? Hello.
You can
No.
come again, Lucky, sorry.
Okay. So imagine there are 10 people that are watching a certain program. और वो program जो है, it is 30-minute program or any GC program is a 30-minute program, right? So the first viewer spends 10 minutes on the program. He starts at 8:30, finishes at 8:40. Okay. The second viewer, he starts at 8:46, finishes at 8:50. Okay. That program started running from 8:30 itself. Okay. It's a 30-minute program. It is going to end at 9 o'clock. Okay, then these viewers have started watching here and these viewers have spent so much time. Like the first viewer has spent 10 minutes, second has spent 4 minutes, fifth, like so on. These viewers have spent so much time. Okay, so what the software does in the back end is takes a time weighted average. Okay, to put simply, everybody has 30 minutes to watch because the program is going to be there. It's not going to go anywhere, right? So it's running. So it's for 30 minutes. So the common denomination is the 30-minute program. But first viewer has only watched 10 minutes. Second viewer has only watched 4. Third has only watched 5 minutes. And fourth has only watched 25 minutes. And rest of them didn't watch it. Okay. So they will not be counted. Only these 4 people will be counted. Okay. But my universe, if I define my TG, okay, target audience, in my target audience, there are 10 people. So
the
I will
10 is
divide.
the target audience, what you're talking about. That's what.
Yes, 10 is your target audience.
Okay.
So regardless of your target audience watches it, how many people watch it or don't watch it, you discard them here. So those who not watch it, discard here, and those who watch it, they divide by 30 minutes. Their time spent divide by 30 minutes.
So target
And
audience सेम हाउस होल्ड का भी हो सकता है या मल्टीपल हाउस होल्ड का?
ये सेम टीजी के लिए
सेम मतलब कि जैसे कि अभी इससे पहले बताया था ना कि वो बैरोमीटर लगा रहता है, क्या मीटर लगा रहता है
हाँ,
एक
तो
हाउस होल्ड में.
ये क्या है जब आप टीजी डिफाइन करते हो ये सेम टीजी के लिए, ये डिफरेंट टीजी के लिए नहीं हो सकता. एक अगर टीजी डिफाइन कर लिया तो उसी टीजी के लिए ये आएगा, उस टीजी के ऑडियंसेस में कितना टाइम स्पेंड किया है वो प्रोग्राम पे. So you
Okay.
cannot do it for different target audiences because their viewership pattern is completely different. Clear?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Now we move on to reach. Reach for you guys must be planning for other mediums, so you might know what is reach. But in TV, the reach is defined as the person. Person is considered to be reached when he watches at least 1 minute. Okay, so you go to Star Plus, you watch 1 minute of Star Plus, then you move on to other channel. You go to Z, you watch 1 minute. Okay, then you feel like going to other channel, movie channel. You go to Star Gold, you watch 1 minute. So on every channel, you will be counted as reached. When the channel number for reach comes out, you will be in that reach. Okay. So if you watch something for 1 minute, you are reached. That's the criteria for reach on TV. So then there are different kind of different terminologies for reach. There is net reach, gross reach, effective reach. Net reach is nothing but unduplicated reach for people who have at least watched it for one time. Okay. And gross reach is your total reach. Okay. How many exposures you put on TV? We call it ad spots or exposure into number of people that are reached. So the total reach will be your gross reach. Okay. And your effective reach will be at whatever frequency you're looking at. If you're looking at a 3 frequency or a 4 frequency, whatever frequency you're looking at for the reach, that will be your effective reach. It's very simple. It's as it sounds. Okay. The small example of gross versus net reach. So program A has 100 people, okay, watching. Your universe is 300. Okay. And program B has 100 people watching. Okay. And other 100 are not watching anything. Okay. They're not there. Okay. So your gross reach will be A plus B. Simple. The entire A plus B. That will be a gross reach. Okay. And your percentage reach will be upon the total number of audience. Universe is a major factor in calculating TVR reach, everything. So your total reach divided by your universe is your percentage reach, and net reach will be the program 1 ka reach and program 2 ka reach minus whatever the duplication, because people will watch multiple programs. So there is duplication and you have to remove that duplication from your overall reach. That's your net reach. Clear? So if you're at, for an example, if I'm putting, so when I make a plan, I don't take one channel or one program, right? I take multiple channels, I take multiple programs. So the software does this on the background for you. When you take Star Plus, Z, Sony, everything, they'll keep recording the people who watch it in a unique way, in uniquely, and people who watch multiple programs by shifting the channels. Okay. And they will give you reach on every frequency. There are 10 for TV, there are 10 frequencies, 1 plus, 2 plus, 3 plus, 4 plus, 5 plus, and they are denoted as 1 plus and 2 plus and 3 plus, because in TV you cannot say that it has only reached once. Likewise in internet or digital, you can cap your frequency, right? Here you cannot cap your frequency. Okay, so they denote it as 1 plus, 2 plus, 3 plus and 4 plus. मतलब एक बार तो देखा ही होगा, पर एक के ऊपर भी देखा हुआ हो सकता है. There are possibilities they have watched more than once, but at least once they must have watched. Likewise, 2 plus is they have watched it for 2 times for sure, but they might have also watched it more than twice. Okay. But 2 plus for sure they have watched. So that's your definition of that frequency and the reach, kind of reach you get. Net reach versus gross reach. Clear? Can I get an okay?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So the third factor is OTS, that is opportunity to see. This is nothing but your number of spots or that you put in your channel, in your plan, right? You have your so each and every ad that you see is called a spot. So if you put 5,000 spots or 5,000 ads, right, in one plan, the opportunity to see will be 5,000 times because you're airing it 5,000 times, right? But there are people who watch only for 4 minutes, only for 5 minutes. So that will change according to that calculation. Okay. So opportunity to see, or average opportunity to see, um, is the time frame or the window that your audience or your universe or whatever you have defined as audience has to see the commercial. Okay. So it's a very simple calculation. Your total GRP divided by your reach. Whatever you GRPs you garner from your plan, you divide it by your reach, you get your OTS. So if you have garnered 37 GRPs, okay, and your reach is 32%, you divide it, you get 1.6. So your audience, whatever audience you defined, your universe, had 1.6 times opportunity to see your ad. Did you get me?
Yeah.
Clear, right? Very simple. It's that, and this number can range from 3, 4 to in case of uh, IPL. For instance, if IPL is going on, so IPL has repetitive audience. Okay, IPL has a set of audience that watches it again and again. There are no new audiences added. For like a GEC or a movies, you see new people coming in, like someone from other channel comes in. But IPL pe audience fixed रहता है, right? So there the opportunity to see increases. Okay. Versus something like a GEC, a general entertainment channel, or a movie channel, the opportunity to see is lesser because people will keep zapping, keep going to other channels. But in terms when you target specific big properties like IPL or Big Boss, people generally tend to stick to it and they're loyal to that program, right? So the opportunity to see will go up, and that reflects in your calculation. If you, I'll show you further. That's basically your opportunity to see. And so your entire TV plan is based on this correlation. Okay, reach, frequency, and GRP. Your GRP and this, understand this triangle. You can plan either for GRP, you can plan either for reach, or you can plan either for frequency. Okay. So generally brands that are new to the market or have a new communication and their goal is to reach as many people as possible, they will take this route. They'll plan for reach. And GRP and frequency will be an outcome, a secondary thing. For someone who has an established target audience, okay, for someone like Big Bazaar, they have an established target audience, okay, people know them, it's a well-known brand, and they have to announce a weekend sale, right? They will go high frequency, high GRP because they know my audience is fixed, my audience knows me, okay, everything is established, but I have to just announce this particular sale. So I'll go for a very high frequency kind of a plan. Okay. So this is the correlation between all of these three. So someone, a soap brand for an FMCG, uh, soap category can operate only on GRP. They will not be operating on reach because they have their price point is very low and they have to completely outshout their opponent all the time saying 10 rupees ka sabun and all of that. So that's when high GRP comes into play. Okay. With me by far?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm taking you through all these. Just remember these small concepts because they're going to be handy while we start. I'll show you the plan. So how do you define the target audience in all of this? Earlier, there was SEC, socio-economic class. Okay, there was a classification called socio-economic class, and NCCS is the new consumer classification system because the earlier classification system didn't take into account. Um, so it was biased on if you are not educated. For someone like Sachin Tendulkar, would fall under SEC-B because he's not educated, but it was education and income. So he was not educated but had high income, so he would fall into that. And a lot of these things hampered planning and the whole scantity of planning and measurement system. So that came into question. So BARC and all these organizations, they came together and they found out a new classification system. This is uh, very highly based on what Hindustan Unilever uses as their classification system from early 90s. So it is dependent on the number of consumer durables that you use. Okay. And those number of consumer durables can be electricity. They start from electricity to gas stove, then fan, fridge, everything. These are the number of durables that you own. And this is your education. So even if your education is only SSC, only 10 pass, but you have very high, you have 9+ goods or durables in your house, you fall under A2. That is your premium category that you have the power to buy. So all these factors come into play while before you start a plan, okay, a TV plan. And this is what you need to classify into BARC as a software. Then there are some small other things that you need to consider, something called as CPRP. It is nothing but your cost per GRP. What is the cost I'm going to incur per GRP I'm going to burn? Okay, we understood what GRP is. Okay, GRP is a currency for TV media. Okay, whenever we buy from broadcasters, we buy GRPs. It comes at a certain cost. Okay, and to simply and loosely put it, what is your cost per GRP? That is your CPRP, cost per rating point. There are further complications to this, but I'll not explain that right now because it gets a little complicated. Where you have to have your commercial duration, what you're airing also matters, but that we'll understand later. Okay, that is called ACD. ACD is your average commercial duration. It's nothing but your advertisement. How many seconds is your advertisement for? 20 seconds, 15 seconds, 30 seconds. Okay, that is your ACD, average commercial duration. CPRP formula clear, no? Your total money divided by your total GRP, right? Uh, Anybody, any question? Hello.
I have a question, but I don't know if I should ask it right now. Just out of curiosity.
Yeah.
So when I used to do planning and everything, the CPRP at which we used to operate at some point of time, this is out of curiosity purely.
Yeah.
For female 22 to 40 in urban India, for GEC, the CPRP used to be around 28,000 in on a
Yeah.
good day.
Right.
What is it right now? It's been a long time. So I just wanted to know how TV is
It
faring by the
depends.
CPRP.
So if you see for bigger brands like HUL and PNG, it might be still around 28-30
Okay.
because they hold their CPRPs and the amount of buying that they do, right? Uh, they get good rates. And for smaller brands, it might go up to 35,000, 35,
Okay.
38, depending on what mix you buy.
True.
Right? It's also a factor of mix that you buy, right? If you buy impact properties in your plan, that CPRP might go way ahead.
True.
So there are two kinds of CPRP. One is your normal CPRP, one is your impact CPRP that we consider before planning. Impact CPRP is something, if you take IPL or KBC or all these reality shows in your plan, you evaluate them separately and you evaluate your normal plan separately so that the normal plan doesn't get hampered because of this CPRP, right? The
Right.
CPRP is for programs is going to be high because they're special programs. They offer a different thing.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah. There are other few things that we need to consider. One is channel share. So every time before we start planning the TVR reach and everything that we just saw, so there are channels before making any plan. We look at these certain things. Okay, channel share is nothing but what is the share of each channel to your entire channel basket. Okay. The share can be relative share or total share. A relative share is within movie genre, how much share does Star Gold have? Okay. And if I have to see Star Gold channel share in total, then I have to see in all the channels put together, all the 900 channels. Okay, so there is relative share and there is total share. It's nothing but the GRPs that the channel offers. Okay. There's something called as ROS, run off schedule, or RODP, run off day part. These are time bands that are offered by the broadcasters for you to make a TV plan. Okay. So for an instance, likewise, there are programs. There is Anupama and all these programs. Sometimes you don't want to buy the program. You just want to buy a time band, an entire time band. So the time band is called RODP or ROS. Okay. Then there is FCT. FCT is your free commercial time. Whatever seconds you buy from the channel, okay, for your plan, or whatever secondages you put in your plan or plan for, they are called FCT. Okay. Then there is FPC. FPC is nothing but when you go to the channel and you tell them, I want to advertise with you, they will send you a list of programs that they have and the time that the program is airing on. So that's called FPC. Okay, it's called a fixed point chart. It's nothing but the programming grid sent by the broadcasters to you. Okay, this you get before planning to see what kind of programs they're offering, what kind of time bands they have, and what are the rates for that program. Or you have to see the ratings for that program. That's called FPC. Then there is SOE and SOV, share of expenditure and share of voice. Expenditure is basically your percentage of your spends, and share of voice is percentage of GRPs. Okay. Within, if there are 10 advertisers, okay, all the 10 advertisers in the same market doing multiple GRPs, you will take a simple percentage of which is the highest and which is the lowest. That is called share of voice. Voice is GRP basically. Okay, and then there is effective rate. So every channel, every time band has a rate. But how do you decide that rate? Is the number of seconds that you buy on the channel. So here also earlier in 90s and 2000s, early 2000s, channels used to deal in 30 seconds. All the rates that you used to get from channels and broadcasters used to be at 30 seconds. But later, uh, there was this whole revolution of you don't have to say anything. You don't have to necessarily say put your ad for 30 seconds, right? You can communicate in 20 seconds. You better make an ad for 20 seconds. Then your money will go down, right? And if you can communicate in 10 seconds, then you better do a 10 seconds. It costs even lesser. Okay. So all these things came up and all the brands started making smaller and smaller ads. Okay. So because that was sufficient for them to advertise. So what happened is that the whole structure kept changing. So broadcasters used to offer a rate for 30 seconds, and the advertisers used to plan for 10 and 20 seconds. So the calculation used to go for toss all the time. So all the broadcasters came together and then they decided now we will offer rate for 10 seconds and not 30 seconds. Okay. So here that's what you see here. This is a rate for 15,000 rate for 10 seconds. Okay. And you have bought 100 seconds on one program at the rate of 15 seconds per 15,000 per 10 seconds. Okay. Then they'll offer you a bonus also. Since you have bought 100 seconds, they'll give you some bonus. So that bonus is 50 seconds. So in total, you have 150 seconds at this rate. Okay. So your total cost is 1,50,000 and that's divided by your total seconds. So effective rate of that entire channel will be 10,000. So there might be one program that is 15,000, one program that is 20,000, this I'm showing you an example just for one particular program, but there may be multiple programs in a channel deal. Okay. For instance, wait, I'll show you this also. Can you see this? Can everyone see this?
Yes, we can.
Yeah. So for instance, when you make a plan, for here, if you see this, this is the rate. This is called a ER for every time band. Okay. And this is how a deal is constructed. So there is Star Gold. These are the program because Star Gold doesn't have a particular program. We use RODP or ROS. We just saw RODP or ROS, rest of day part or ROS. Okay. So that's what we do here. And that's a wider time band, 7 o'clock to 10 o'clock, 10 o'clock to 1 o'clock for these days. Okay. And this is the rate, 10-second rate for each time band. That's your, and if you want to see the rate for the entire channel, this is your effective rate. Okay, it's nothing but your total money divided by your total seconds that you have to air on that channel. So the effective rate for that entire channel will be 4,000. Clear? So all these terminologies I told you, FCT is free commercial time. All these come into play. This is your commercial duration. My commercial duration is 23 seconds. Okay. Number of spots, that is ads, I put on every time band. Here 96, 21, 17. These are put by us. Okay. We decide how many spots I want on which time band. Okay. And then you simple multiply this, you get your FCD, total seconds that you have to air on that channel. So you sum them all up and you divide by your money. You get your ER, your effective rate. Clear? If not clear, please ask. I will explain again. Hello.
So clear, Lucky. Clear for me.
Okay. Okay. And then after all of these things, we have to also consider some patterns for scheduling your TV plan. Okay. Because some days our viewership is higher because on weekends everybody is at home. So if you see on weekends the GRP are higher for any channel or time band. On weekdays the GRP is lower. If your target audience is male, then your viewership pattern changes. Then the morning time band and evening time band is higher GRPs because generally they watch in the morning, they watch news and go for work. And when they come back in the evening, they again watch TV in the evening. So evening time band again is higher, right? All the female time bands, if you see, they'll be spread throughout the day because most of the females are at home. So you'll find all the afternoon time bands doing well. When you put female TG in Bark software and you run for your TBRs, you will see all this TVRs higher. So you have to base your strategy accordingly. So if you have a burst strategy, you can do this strategy within the time band or a channel, or you can do this strategy over weeks. If you have a 4-week plan, you can do a burst strategy saying I'll only target weekends, I'll be higher on weekends and not on weekdays, I'll go flat. Then there is a continuous strategy where I'll put flat spots, 20 spots every day, and they should run accordingly. Okay. Then there's a flighting strategy. I'll be present for 2-3 days, go off air, again present for 2-3 days, again go off air. Okay. Then there's a pulsing strategy. On weekends, higher spots, again lower spots, higher spots, lower spots. Okay. Why do we do all of this? Is it depends on the kind of communication you have. Okay. If it is an offer communication and that's going to be in a very short period, you have a burst strategy. It's for someone like a retail who has people coming in only on weekend. They'll be planning for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, very high burst, then go off. Again, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, very high burst, then go off. For someone like Vodafone or a telecom client who's established and the communication is established, they'll have a very high amount of spots, but in a continuous fashion. Okay, likewise, every brand and according to their communication strategy, they'll change their TV strategy accordingly. Okay. And there are multiple factors you need to consider. Sorry. Anyone had a question?
नहीं लकी किसी का गलती से म्यूट ऑफ हो गया था इसीलिए आई डोंट थिंक
Okay.
एनीबॉडी हैड अ क्वेश्चन
Okay. Okay. So clear by far, right? I mean, all these fundas, if anyone has anything unclear, let me know. I'll go back. Okay. So this is the last thing that you need to consider before starting to make a plan. Okay. And these things are internal and external. Okay. Internal things that you look for before making a plan. Okay. Is that you consider the right measurement period. Okay. Sometimes people can consider a wrong measurement period and your evaluation can go for a toss. For an instance, if you're planning, if you start to make a plan, if you're planning for a certain period and in that period, IPL is going to pop up, right? For if I'm planning for April right now, and I know that IPL is going to come, and if I forget that, and if I plan and take period that is not IPL period, okay, the TVRs will be high, right? And during IPL period, only IPL TVRs are high and rest of the TVRs go down because primarily India is one TV household. है ना? तो one TV household में क्या होता है? If there is one big popular program coming up, people tune into that. Majority of the people tune into that, and the other programs have lesser TVR then. So you have to consider that measurement, whatever measurement period you take, is the right period that justifies the period that you're going to be on air on. If I'm going to be on air on April, I have to consider all the programs that come in April, all the festivals that come in April, and accordingly, I have to choose a pre-evaluation period. There is a pre-evaluation and post-evaluation, right? So I'll be planning for April right now. So I'll be considering whatever data I have available right now. But that data set should mimic the behavior in April. Okay, so that can go wrong. Okay, so you have to be very thorough about that period. Okay, then there's an estimation of GRP and reach. Sometimes we estimate the GRP and reach. We run it in Bark and Bark throws a certain GRP and reach. But intuitively, you know that, elections aane wale. Okay, or something is going to happen, like there's going to be recession or market fall or whatever. Okay, and this thing is going to happen, but you cannot have a pre-evaluation based on that period because that has never happened before. So you cannot judge a pre-period according to that. So you estimate it. If you have 200 GRP delivering, आप क्या करते हो उसको थोड़ा डिस्काउंट कर देते हो. You find a justification for that discounting method and you discount it. But that discount can go under or over. When you deliver your plan, that delivery can be over or under. So that discounting has to be right. Okay. There can be deal fluctuations. If you have a standing deal for 2-3 months और अचानक से वो डील ब्रॉडकास्टर आके बोल सकता है कि यार मुझे ये डील जम नहीं रहा, we have to relook at the deal. Whatever CPRP you guys are offering me, I'm not cool with that CPRP anymore. मेरे प्रोग्रामिंग में ये चेंजेस हो गए, तो I want to redo the deal. Okay, so that can also go wrong. You have to be very considerate about that fact. There can be human errors because it's an Excel driven plan. There can be formula errors, there can be data reading errors, there can be typos that happens, and all these factors have to be considered. Okay, and once you send the plan and once the plan is on air, you have to constantly monitor it. So every week, by a week lag, BARC gives you data for whatever you have aired. Okay, and there is another entity called ADEX. What ADEX does is gives you data in 1 or 2 days lag of your actual spot that run on TV on every program. So you can ask for that data and see if your spots have run according to what you have planned or not. Okay. Then there are external factors. External factors include चैनल परफॉर्म नहीं किया या प्रोग्राम परफॉर्म नहीं किया, प्रोग्राम का कंटेंट कुछ बेकार है या फिर इसमें कंज्यूमर को मजा नहीं आ रहा तो दे डिडंट वॉच इट, राइट. सम प्रोग्राम्स कैन ओवर डिलीवर. अभी किसी का फिनाले आ रहा है एंड यू डिडंट कंसीडर दैट फिनाले, और इफ सम सास बहू सीरियल में कोई ट्विस्ट आने वाला है, राइट, and you don't know about that twist and you have planned for that period and that twist garners like crazy GRPs. Someone slaps someone and that whole GRPs goes up. Your planned GRP will go up and you'll have to keep justifying it, right? Then there are FPC changes. That is some channel changes their program off air chala gaya because it's not performing. They got new programs. They don't tell you this in advance. They tell you during the plan. So you have to be very thorough with this, that you look for all these changes in advance. There can be suddenly an ad clutter. Some big advertiser wakes up and says that I want to advertise now, and they'll be offering better rates than you do, and they'll get that space and your ad spots will be dropped. Okay, so that ad clutter you have to keep in mind. Okay, you have to constantly ask the broadcasters, call them up, make meetings and ask if any new advertisers have come up, or is anyone planning a big plan. Okay, then ad placements. Sometimes these broadcasters get better rate than you. Okay, so if Chroma's planning, if I make a Chroma plan today, I send it across and the plan is running fine, and suddenly Amazon comes up and they pay better than I do. Okay, so what the channel will give you multiple reasons and they'll drop your spots. There won't be one reason. They'll be giving you multiple reasons, making some bahanas, and they'll tell you that your ads are dropped. Okay, so you have to constantly monitor your plan for this. So 1 year it happened that Bihar, UP had a major electricity because of rain and electricity issue. Even South, there was a major electricity issue, and that somehow worsened the ratings, and all our plans under delivered. And nobody, because these factors you only know from the industry and the news, you have to keep an eye on these factors, because there is no electricity, there's no TV, and your ratings will be hampered. Right? There's natural calamity, कहीं पानी भर गया है या फिर कुछ हो गया है, वहां पे इलेक्ट्रिसिटी नहीं है या टीवी बंद हो गए हैं, कोई पॉलिटिकल पार्टी ने बंद कर दिया है किसी चैनल को वगैरह वगैरह. So these natural calamities also play a major role. Okay, there can be legal issues. Someone can take a legal action on your advertisement, and the channel will be the broadcasters are quite they keep away from all these things, legal issues and all. So they'll just call you up and tell you we are stopping your ad because there are some legal issues, someone threatening us to put a case. So all these things can happen. Okay, these are not controllable to that extent, but you have to keep up to date on these facts so that you can plan better, right? Clear by far? Hello.
Yeah.
I think we should stop here. Next session, maybe I can take you through the plan. It's already over time.
ठीक
Yeah, I
है
just had one small question. I was waiting for that.
Yeah.
What is the acceptable limits of that margin of error in pre and post delivery for reach and for GRP?
So see the margin of error in pre and post. I'll showcase that. So guys, a pre looks like this. This is what Bach throws. I just told you about frequencies 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus. This is the GRP. This is AOTS. This is your unduplicated reach, and this is your entire post eval or pre eval from Bach. Okay, this is by market, and this is for 1 TG. So every advertiser, okay, and agency has an understanding. Okay, so these factors can vary from brand to brand, from agency to agency, of what is a permissible limit, okay, for my under or over delivery. So if there is a natural calamity and all of these things that are not in your hand, you can justify it saying plus minus 10% on GRPs and plus minus 5 reach points, right?
Okay.
Generally, industry standard is plus minus 10% on GRPs and 5 reach points, not percentage. Okay, this is already in percentage. So plus minus 5 points. For HUL, when I used to work in Fulcrum, HUL was plus 5 minus 3. So if you go over, if you over deliver, you can over deliver by plus 5 reach points. So 73 can become 78, not more than 78. Anything more than 78, you're penalized. Okay, whatever. So if you go over 78, you take 79. That one reach point, how much ever GRP that one reach point garners, you'll have to pay back to HUL. Fulcrum has to pay back to HUL. So likewise, every agency has this with their clients. Generally, it is on GRPs plus minus 10%. So if you over deliver by 10%, and over delivery is generally higher because it is also better for you, right? In the same cost, if you're over delivering, it is better for you. You did better, but then still you're penalized because you're wasting their money. If certain brand doesn't want those many GRPs, you're plainly wasting their money. So they will not accept that and they'll penalize you for that. So for to say industry standard plus minus 10% on GRPs and plus minus 5 points on reach, and it can vary from brand to brand. Like plus, I told you for HUL is plus 5 minus 3 on reach and plus 10 minus 8 on GRPs.
Got it, Lucky. Thank you.
Yeah, and for someone like a Chroma retail, उनको तो यार plus minus 2% पे है. मतलब even if 2-3 reach points here and there, whenever they plan TV, they're very strict about it.
Understood. Thank you.
And I'll just take you through one small thing. So all these things that I told you, right? We look at genre, channel, TVR, and everything. So if you see, we actually make it in Excel. Okay. We look at these time bands: morning, evening, afternoon, week wise. What is the delivery? Okay. Accordingly, which week will perform better and not. Top programs. Okay. Which are the top programs for your TG, the target audience that you defined here. Okay, this is for male, female, 22 to 40 AB, NCCS. So whatever we define, which are the top programs, then we mark it. We look at affinity, okay, for each and every channel and genre, okay, and then we mark whichever have better indexes. We mark them and keep them aside. Then genre, which genre performs better for your channel. These are all TVRs, okay, TVR and share. And this is what we do for reach. We see at what point am I getting lesser incremental reach? I'll come to that point when we cover incremental reach and everything. So reach, the whole reach conversation goes even further complicated, and it turns into incremental reach and how incremental reach is used for planning. That I'll cover later. So all these things that we already do, and then we make a plan like this. So this is for each and every channel. If you see GEC programs, day, their time band, this deal is made by a buying team. It's a very complicated process again. I'll explain that also to you in next session. And this is how we arrive at a cost. And then we arrive at a total plan. Clear? I hope I was able to shed some light on the basics.
Yes, Lucky got it. I think KK has got a question.
Yeah. Okay.
No, nothing. It's okay.
Okay. Anybody else? Any question?
नहीं तक कि मुझे लग रहा है फ्राइडे के बोर्ड पे है अभी।
अच्छा.
हाँ।
Okay. Next question.
Lucky, एक question था.
हाँ.
Maybe I would be a mouthpiece to everyone. Why do we consider TV, or why we consider TV planning? How is it beneficial? How is it better in which instance as compared to all the other mediums?
See, you cannot say TV is better or TV is worse, or any medium is better or worse. It depends on the goal that you have to achieve. I think the first step is to understand what your goal is as a planner and as a brand, what you're trying to achieve is then when the medium comes later. Medium अच्छा है या बुरा है ये तो नहीं decide कर सकते हम. How you use that medium for your brand makes all the difference. So for an instance, TV is good for, so TV is a video medium, right? And the stickiness to TV is, as I told you, more than 2 hours, 3 hours of watch time every day, right? And if you have a bigger format of video and you have to get your message through that way, and you think your messaging is only going to impact through that format, you should use TV. There is no two ways about it, right? There's a lot of, so I'll tell you what PNG has done recently, how they use TV. So PNG has discovered that a few years back that no more normal TV doesn't satisfy their needs, and normal TV doesn't garner the impact that they want. So what they discovered that they did a research and they discovered that people connect really well with their local celebrities. So what they did was on TV, they got all the top rated programs. Okay. Like for Maharashtra, there is this Anupama ka ek version hai Maharashtra mein. Okay. It is the top program in Maharashtra. So now PNG went and they took those protagonists from that channel, right? And they made it look like an ad. So that's why they made an ad and made it look like a part of that program. Okay, it is in their, so they take all local celebrities and they have designed an ad with those local celebrities so that it doesn't look like a ad and looks like a part of that extension of that program. Okay, that is how they use TV to their benefit for weeks. And they did it with multiple channels and multiple markets. So you can't say that TV is good or bad. You can only say that how the way you use more innovatively you can use it. And in all these kind of formats, TV is more beneficial because it gives you that window and time to deliver that bigger message, right? And it connects, and TV has always had that connect with with people, the local celebrities, the movies that you see, the dubbed movies that you see on movie channels, right? So that stickiness index is there with TV. I hope I answered some extent. And there are other formats you can do in show, like for Vodafone did with one of the Big Boss, when Big Boss was very in the early stages doing really well. they had an entire Vodafone booth inside, right? And if the contestant wanted to call their loved ones, they could go there and call them. So these are multiple formats that you can do your ad placements in, right? There's the new thing that has come as pause. You can add that entire program slot is paused, and your ad comes in and it looks like a part of that program. So all these new formats have come in. It's only how you use them to your communication goal. Anything else?
Got it.
Hello.
I think Swarnajit, did you have a question? You raised your hand in the middle.
Yeah, actually I had, but I was thinking it's already beyond the time, so I was thinking whether I should ask it or not. So, first of all, Lucky has been a part, like I have been part of Lucky's team for like from the beginning, and he has actually taught me a lot in terms of the TV planning for the last few months. And I have a very small question, like when we do IPL calculations, right? So there are separate simulcast happening in across all the stars channels, like there is Star Sports and other channels which are. So do we include like the TV? Do we add up those TVRs like for the
Yes,
each
yes,
channel?
you do. Because it's the
Uh,
same program, right? The program isn't changing. It's the same program. There might be multiple airing, but those airing have to be all India airing. They cannot be a
okay,
market airing, and you cannot add TN TVR to all India TVR. Your market should be all India. That channel can be Star Sports Tamil, but it will deliver some GRPs on all India, as I explained earlier. So you can add them up. You should add them up actually. It's a simulcast.
okay. Thank you.
I think that's about it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lucky. Thank you so
Next
much.
session will go through the plan, actual how we build the
Done.
plan. That
ठीक ठीक. Thank you so
okay.
much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Bye.
Lucky.
Thank you for
Take
your
Have a
care.
time.
good
Bye-bye.
weekend, everybody.
Happy weekend.